In this video, I will be speaking about BTC USD. Now, as usual, to keep the video as educational as possible, first I will be covering the technical aspect of this pair. Then we will be moving to the order flow by looking at the on-chain data, so how Bitcoins are moving on and off from exchanges. And by the end of the video, by using the combination of these two different types of analysis, we will try to understand where we have the highest probabilities for the next potential move here on this pair. Now, starting from the monthly time frame, what we can see is that we have a market which is currently testing a quite strong level of previous monthly resistance, which is now turned support. In fact, from here, this is the high of the previous bear market. From here, the previous bear market developed. Here, we had the halving, the market entered into a bull market. Now we are once again in a bear market, which, in my opinion, just ended here with the test of this previous cycle high. From here, we already had the first rejection to the upside, and I do not expect the market to go lower than this point. I expect this to be the low of the current bear market. Now, if we look closer, we can see how the market has also now broken structure to the upside. In fact, what we had here was previous weekly resistance, which is now turned support. This level was acting as previous resistance here, again here. All that previous resistance has been broken to the upside, retested, and at the moment the market is rejecting to the upside quite aggressively. So in a situation like this, we could expect more bullish price action to be developed. Going down on the weekly, we can see how on the weekly time frame in all this move, there is one candle not related to the move, which is exactly this red candle here, showing how exactly at this level the market was facing previous weekly resistance, which is now turned support. The market just tested this previous resistance turned support and is currently rejecting it to the upside. So from a weekly perspective, everything seems quite bullish, and we could expect more bullish continuation away from this zone. If we go down on the daily time frame, what do we have? Well, on the daily, things look quite interesting. In fact, we have a very strong impulse to the upside. Now, in general, after an impulse, if you want to measure the correction, you have to take your Fibonacci from the low to the high of the impulse leg. And if we do that, we can see how we have at 0.32 and 50% Fibonacci retracements that if we extend the level to the left, we can see how we're also acting as previous resistance here, and again here. Now, all this previous resistance is now acting as support at this level. So if the market will go and retest this previous resistance turn support from here, there is the possibility to see a potential rejection to the upside, potentially for the completion of this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if we go and see what we have when it comes to the on-chain data, so how Bitcoins are moving on and off from exchanges, we can see how the black line is the price, the purple line here is the amount of Bitcoins on exchanges. As the price was dropping and then recovering, the amount of Bitcoins on exchanges just continued to drop always more aggressively. Now, this shows that a massive amount of Bitcoins are getting bought and moved away from exchanges, potentially in cold storage. Now, this creates illiquidity so that if demand gets increased or if the amount of Bitcoins emitted into circulation gets cut in half, price should increase to accommodate for this new demand. So if the price here will go and retest this level, that we have just identified, which is the zone in between the 0.32 and 50% retracement that is currently in confluence with this previous daily resistance, now acting as support here. At that point, from this level, we could expect a potential rejection to the upside. So if we will see the retest, how we could be approaching this potential move to the upside? Well, as usual, trading is reactive and not predictive. The monthly, weekly, and daily combined with the on-chain data, those are the best time frames from a directional perspective. However, when it comes to confirmations and entries, the best time frames are the intraday time frames, so 4 hour and lower. Therefore, what we could be doing, potentially also with students, is monitoring price action from an intraday perspective during this move to the downside, waiting for the market to shift from an intraday bearish market as we would have to an intraday bullish market. And if the market would shift from an intraday bearish to bullish market and provide to us one of our valid entries, at that point we could be looking for a potential move to the upside for the market to potentially complete this impulse correction and impulse pattern to the upside. Now, if you enjoyed this free analysis education and update, make sure that you drop a like and a comment. It really does support the creation of more free analysis education and updates for all of you. And I will see you in my next breakdown.